Welcome all. It is poLANd.tf. It is 2025. It's the second event here at the Woods, and I'm TurboTimes. I'm proud to be beside all my fellow casters and gamers here to decide just a simple little question, guys. Who's the best European TF2 player, and who's the best TF2 team?
First question of me, is this thing turned on? Can you hear me?
And it wouldn't be LAN if we didn't immediately have communication problems straight from the get-go. But that's the event and nature of LAN. We've now got a working microphone. Please verify for me, Domaytoe.
Check.
Okay,
Does
yes.
work? Perfect. Can you repeat your question? TurboTips, hello, welcome.
Welcome, Domaytoe. Welcome, Not Stephen. Welcome, Ben. Guys, it's a rough start, but we're here. We've made it to Woods. We've made it to poLANd 2025. It's the second event here, and this time we've got a couch. How are you feeling, Domaytoe? This is your first LAN event casting, I believe.
It is, and I was thinking that you might have mentioned it's my first couch that I'm sitting on. No, it's not the first couch that I'm sitting on in my life, but what you asked before, I'm a bit of a Witness Gaming fanboy, honestly, on this. Not saying that maybe they wield the best player of this entire LAN, but we will see. I'm heading to...
Oh yes, pass the mic down the line. We've spared no expense for all the players here, but we have spared very much expense for our casters and our couch and all this. But beggars can't be choosers. Also, we have kind of pushed the boat out here, haven't we, Not Stephen, compared to last year?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was expecting to be in the hot box again this year, where we had the entire casting, people chugging beers behind us. But no, this year we got a proper setup. It feels kind of regal, to be honest. I'm kind of enjoying this whole setup. But yeah, super excited to be here for another installment of poLANd. And I mean, it's even more stacked this year. We have, some returning names of those Frenchies, but then yeah, we've got the Witness Gamings, we've got Mandem showing up here as well, and plenty of other teams. I mean, it was a super close qualifications round. So yeah, only the best here for this poLANd. So I'm looking very much forward to this.
Ben, I want to know your opinion. Is this the inaugural event of European TF2 right now? Is this basically where you log on and to decide this really is probably the best team in TF2 right now?
You kind of couldn't ask for anything more, right? Like, we've got literally all the best teams on the continent are here. There's not even excuses for most of them. I know last time, obviously, Mandem were running with mercs, and TLR had won Prem, and they had 4 mercs, I think, at LAN. It was a mixed team basically at that point. But this time around, all the best teams in Prem are all here. Most of them have got full rosters. We've got 7 out of 8 teams from Prem are here in Woods right now, ready to see who's the best. I don't know what else could be the big event of European TF2 if it isn't this.
All right, and if we just pass it back on to Not Stephen. Not Stephen, I just wanted to, I'm going to go organically back and forth down the line. Anyway, Not Stephen. We can't split this all into just one day. It takes a long process here, so it's going to be group stages. Excited for some group stages?
Yeah, so we got group stages, obviously, today. I mean, it's a best of one as well here, so it's all to play for on that one map, and I think it can get really exciting when it's like that. Sometimes when, you have a rough map, when you're playing those best of 3s, best of 5, you're like, okay, guys, maybe it's not our map, but we take the next one. But the stakes are a lot higher here when it's that one map, at the start of this day, and you want to get those higher seeds, obviously, so you have an easier day tomorrow in those group stages, and then you want to try to get to those quarterfinals. So I think today can be some of the most high stakes. I think some of those top teams might be taking it a bit easier. They'll be feeling okay. But for those, maybe 5th and 6th sort of teams, I think they'll be really trying to get those top spots, so they don't have to play, the hardest teams first thing tomorrow morning, because inevitably they're going to be hungover, right?
Domaytoe, it was a grueling qualifying system that we had. We didn't just invite any willy-nilly team here. We had to, have them qualify, go through the brackets. We had maybe
Is
the
that
top...
criticism upon ETF Twitter admins?
It's more the fact that everyone is pining to get here at poLANd.tf and all this. Was there any of these lower teams you got your eye on at all that you're kind of excited to see in this group stage?
I was casting the qualification stage for quite some extent, and I did realize especially that I was mostly put on the Impreglodons cast. I'm not sure if, for example, JMX did that on purpose, because I cannot pronounce that name for the life of myself, so I was always put on those sort of games. But yeah, I can definitely see those players maybe not throwing a tantrum up per se, but definitely upping the ante, I'd say. But to be quite fair, we have this relatively small comfy event hall here, I would say. So, I mean, there are different, locations. And you are also a veteran of LANs. And, I mean, you talk to me. It's my inaugural, debut here on casting. But I've attended a lot of LANs as well. And I always like how it's a very different sort of mindset on each of those LANs. And I would even say, to come back to your question, taking a rather lengthy detour, that it might help those teams that, got their practice through the qualification stage. You always have to keep that in mind. That is also a chance for them to gain practice for a LAN. And, yeah, they're here with their people, so it's nice.
Not Stephen, is it all about the competition at this point? Or do some gamers actually just turn up here and just enjoy the spectating or just enjoy, kind of gathering together? Is it all about competition? Or
I think it's more about community, honestly. I mean, you can't see it now, but in front of us here, we've got a nice bunch of Finns, a couple of other people who've turned up just for the fun of the game, just for the love of it, just to meet their friends, and for many, many beers, as you just said here. But no, I think honestly, it's all friendly at the end of the day, right? I think a lot of people that are here, it's for the love of the game. It's TF2 at its heart, right? It's just all about the community, and everyone is so welcoming. So if any of you were thinking of coming to a LAN, you absolutely should. Everyone is so friendly and welcoming, and I think even if you don't get to play, you'll still have a great time meeting a load of your online friends. So yeah, I'd definitely say come along. It's not Stephen approved.
Ben, I feel like you're a stickler for the details, the rules, the objectives of the tournament. So I'm going to list off a couple of details there. You correct me if we've got anything wrong. But obviously we're starting with day one. It's our group stages. It's best of one. That means no golden caps, right?
Yep, no golden caps.
Okay, and no King of the Hill.
Correct.
Okay, so I mean, that's already kind of weird. Do you have any idea why they might have done that in the admins? I think I have a clue.
It's because they want to allow the schedule to flow, right? If you've got like 20-minute golden caps going on with mid fights and such, it can push things back a bit. And if you're allowing draws, you can't really do draws on Koth, I suppose. So it kind of makes sense. It leaves with 7 maps, which is still like an odd number. You can still divvy it up in a pick ban, right? It kind of works.
And also, finally, they are fighting off a €1,200 prize pot. So obviously, they want to get the better half of that. I'm right on the numbers, right? That sounds like
that's
kind
big
of
money. That's big money. I know last time it was like a few keys, I think, for the winners. This time it's real cold hard cash.
Hopefully we come with a giant check at the end of it. That would be really nice and all this. I have seen the trophy though. Have you seen the trophy, not Stephen? Have you seen it hang? Oh, the trophy is hanging out in the bar area as well. But I bet you've seen the bar, haven't you?
Of course I've seen the bar. Come on now. It's hard to miss it with all the gamers sat up there waiting, and I'm sure we'll see them all tonight. Maybe we try to get the trophy in a little bit later and have a little look at it, because I haven't seen it at all. And it's always nice to have a little bit of extra glory. Who takes it home though if you win? That's why I'm always wondering when it's a team game. They don't have a team house. I know. Who would you give it to?
I would say that it's a decent disclosure for the trophy, because do you really remember the money that you gain? No, you remember the people that they are with. You remember the trophy. And I mean, you know how quickly you can burn through the money. Just miss your passport, forget it, and then take another flight, shout out to Yak, and then like you're already down £500, and I don't know if we can raise the prize pool to that high of amount to even account for that. So it's all about the people, it's all about the memories, and maybe it's also about the little nice trophies. Did you see the trophy, Turbo?
I did see the trophy. I've got a nice picture of it and all this. It's the closest I'll ever come to a trophy, but yeah, I'm really excited. What I'm more excited about is who's going to be holding that trophy. I don't get... I'm going to have a rotating couch all throughout the weekend here, deciding on it. But, if I don't see you again, I need to know, Domaytoe. Who do you think is going to just take it, just outright? Who do you think is going to win this entire poLANd.tf?
Do you remember what I initially said?
You said Witness, but...
I'm Witness fanboy, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a bit also for underdogs. I'm also very surprised how people are just writing off Forfans, or not talking about Forfans all that much, because they're the reigning champions. They beat Witness in the first week. Yeah, evidently people are, I don't want to say coping, let's put it into other euphemisms. They're saying, oh yeah, Witness is just slowly gaining traction during the season. It will be definitely a close, tight-knit game between those two, I do think. So it's Forfans or Witness. I would still give the slight edge over Witness Gaming, so probably them taking the trophy.
Not Stephen. Do you think there's any other teams that you could see in an alternate timeline in a crazy world? These teams are actually going to be on that first place podium.
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually having this discussion on the plane on the way there about who might take it, and I think there's a lot of backing behind Mandem actually during this, and I think it's forfeit to Mandem that I think people would talk about being able to contest them and really take them to the edge here. I think, it's always hard, right? Because Witness they just feel like they're built different. However, I think Mandem, they've been playing well, and I think if they rock up on their day and they play their game, I think they absolutely have a chance of taking it. It's same with the Frenchies as well. I think if they find some weakness in the Witness gaming, like map pick and bans, I think they could definitely take it as well. But we'll have to see. That's not till Sunday, so there's still plenty of time.
Now, Ben, usually when they talk about LANs, they talk about storylines, mainly the sort of headlining news that kind of accompanies a LAN. Is there any sort of headline news that started straight out of this LAN? Is anybody missing? Anybody The
main thing is Witness, right? Because they're obviously coming back. They've changed 2 players. It's not exactly that they're missing. It's more the fact that they're new to the team. They've played a season together, but it's like this isn't the Witness that rolled every game last year, right? In Poland, they've lost Silentes, they've lost Domo, and they've filled out those spots with very capable players. But like it's a fairly new roster. We've said before they had a bit of a wonky start to the season, picked it up from there. As the rest of them, Forfencer here with a full roster, Mandem here with a full roster, of course, and Decide have had a bit of a weird shuffle. I'm not sure what to think of it, honestly. Changing 3 classes around because they couldn't get pandemic visa sourced out in time. It's maybe not ideal for them, but I think they've got Charlie coming in on Soldier, so it's still a competent replacement, right? I still think they're going to be competitive.
Well, thank you very much, gentlemen. I feel like I'm sufficiently caught up, ready for poLANd.tf. We're going to throw it over to some content and then a little break, and then we'll start going straight into our tournament, into the group stage here on day 1. I've been Totaz, with me has been Domaytoe, not Stephen, and Benpl. Okay, take it away, production.
I'm here with ALX from Team Sammakot, the demo man, and captain. How you feeling, ALX? You ready for LAN? It starts tomorrow, it all kicks off?
Yeah, for sure. I'm very excited to get to play. I'm very excited to get to see and talk to my teammates some more and see what we can do at this LAN.
It's obviously been a while since you yourself have been to a LAN and competing on a top team. You've got a couple other newbies to the group. Obviously, I believe Robert and Roger first LANs.
Yeah.
How do you think they're going to handle the LAN?
I think it's an obstacle they're going to have to overcome, but at the end of the day, I think it's an obstacle they will overcome. It's just, it's a new exciting thing to be playing at LAN and competing against, the players that you also think that are the best, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they'll handle it. But of course, I do think that they'll manage.
Cool. Well, we'll rewind just a couple of weeks. Obviously, throughout the first 5 weeks of the season, it's safe to say you were struggling.
Yeah, for sure.
You had a round through 5 weeks, but then these last 2 weeks, you come up against Garda, who bit of a mixed team, as some will know.
Yeah.
And Anticide, who some are sort of calling the new Prem sort of up and comers. They got a solid roster of names that are really, starting to show some strength in the scene.
Yeah, for sure.
You managed to take 6 points off both these teams. How do you do it, man? What's going on? Is there a surge because LAN's coming up, or?
Yeah, well, I'd like to think that it was all just an eventual accumulation of us putting in enough work where there were enough fixes, enough situations that we looked at. We're like, okay, this is what's happening, why we're losing, and this is what we need to do to not have this happen again. And over time, we just had enough things where, like, Alov, you make sure that the soldier coming in from left, he gets watched, and SNH, he makes sure that this soldier gets watched when this happens. And it's all just like a build-up of these, like, gaining more experience overall as a team, and just getting more comfortable trusting, knowing that, someone else will handle that, and someone else will handle that, and I know my role, and knowing what to do in all kinds of different situations. And I'm sure that there's still much more experience for us to gain.
Of course, and this is a great place to get that experience.
Yeah, for sure.
Moving on to sort of LAN a little bit. Group B, right? Are you happy with your group?
Yeah. I'm pretty excited about playing against all the teams in Group B, and I think we got a good shot of getting a really good placement here.
Obviously, Anticide is in Group B. You could be looking to do the double over them.
Yeah.
What sort of position in the group are you hoping to get?
I mean, of course, we're hoping to get first place, but I think Mandem is gonna be our toughest opponent from there, but and ourselves pretty much, since there's still that aspect of LAN nerves for like a lot of us coming into this LAN, but it's we ourselves are our limits. We can do like we can win if we do truly put into efforts and just show what we've been up to.
Okay, cool. Got a few sort of goofy questions for you now.
Yeah.
As someone from Finland, Finnish background, you're playing a pug, all right? You've played a few pugs in your time, I'm sure.
A few.
Would you rather take on a pug with 5 French people or 5 Brits?
I mean, I think
Both pretty bad, huh?
that's a tough one. I think the communication would be probably a bit easier with the British, but the added like the vibes and everything are a bit worse than with the French, I imagine. I think the vibes would be better with the French people. So like, I think since it's a pug, I think I'll go with the French people.
Okay, the Frenchies. Okay, all right. Another sort of would you rather for you here.
All right.
30 minutes, granary. Okay. You're taking all these Ubers. Obviously, you're the captain. You're leading the charge from the front. Would you rather your medic drops you in every Uber across the entire 30 minutes, but you win the game, or you're having these monster Ubers? You're getting 3-4 kills every Uber, but you're losing the game.
Yeah, I'll get dropped every time. Like, yeah, if it's like the entire enemy team is somehow like committing into me while we have Uber, but like we can just kill them without even like needing to save me. Like, yeah, that's 100% worth. Like, of course, it's a team game, and if we're winning games, then we should definitely be doing the alternative, like where we win instead of lose. Like, if it's
a true captain, right? Really leading from the front, and you don't mind if you have to take a few hits.
No, yeah, of course. Like in many mid fights in demo, it's unfortunately like sometimes just fine that you get killed. People, spend a lot of resources on me. And if that leads to my team winning mid, then unfortunately there isn't much to change on the mid for our part. It is like they're spending a lot of resources on me, we're winning, so why change?
Cool. And finally, Alex, I have to ask you this. Where are you going to place this LAN? When it all comes down to it, you making grand finals?
Yeah,
Top 8?
This is a tough one because like I know for a fact what I hope for, what I want from this LAN is making it to grand finals. But whether we make it there, that's a tough one. But I'd say I'd hope for us to make it to top 3 if possible. Yeah, I think that is. We can do it. We can do it. It's just up to us. It's just up to us.
Top 3. You heard it from ALX, from Sammakot.
Welcome back to the Analyst Desk. Welcome back to poLANd.tf, and welcome back to Essentials.tf. And I'm your host, TurboTabs. Again, join with me on the couch in very musical chair fashion is not Stephen, Benpl, and Domaytoe, all my caster crews and buddies and friends. Gentlemen, welcome to the group stage. It's 14 teams. Now, that's a lot of teams, so we have to break them off into 2 groups. So there's going to be 2 groups playing off each other. They're going to be playing like 3 matches per round. So one of these teams is going to be getting a bye. I think Witness is getting one of those teams getting a bye at the start off. But we want to keep it close here on the stream. So we've bought 2 of the most competitive teams we reckon to cover for our first round of games. And that is going to be Smoke Break versus Sammakot. My first challenge to you, casters, I hope you've been doing your preparations and your research. Who is on Smoke Break, not Stephen?
Okay. I think I should get this, maybe. So we have Omga.
Correct.
On Scout.
Correct.
Good start. We have Phoenix
Yep.
on Soldier.
You can go to your Saver Lifelines here if you need help.
On Lifeline. Call the phone.
Lifeline.
Oh, yes.
All right.
So bad. I met him last night. We have, hopefully, Luca on Demo Man.
Yeah.
In the venue. Yeah, scarily. And then we have Faust on Medic, who I didn't think was turning up to this evening, but he was there. So, yeah. Sorry.
There you go. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. All right. But, yeah, I would say, green, green, good stars, A+, all around, all this. Benpl, we got Sammakot. Now, this is a team that's been playing in ETF2 this season, so I do hope to the Lord that you know... yeah, just give me all the Sammakot right now, on the spot.
And then we've got Silves and Roger on Soldier. We've got Durkee, who's formerly known as ALX on Demo, and then Med, we've got Robert.
Is that microphone turned off? Give me that microphone.
I haven't touched the microphone at all.
What the hell? All right, you know what? I'm going to let you borrow my microphone for a hot second. But yeah, if you just run down Sammakot for me.
There we go. Right, so we've got Alov SNH on the scouts. We've got Sylvs Rotisha Soldier Duo. We've got Derpy Hooves on demo, known as ALX, the one who we just heard the interview from just now. And then Medic, we have Robert.
All right, and that. Okay, I think
Can
we're
I
all.
intercept and correct for a hot second? I was talking to Derpy Hooves, and Derpy Hooves said we shouldn't say the name Derpy Hooves anymore because he doesn't want to go under the name of Derpy Hooves. So it's ALX now. And he's going to get mad at you.
Has that changed in the last 2 days?
Yes.
Okay, well, I consider myself corrected then.
Well done, my casters. You are well researched. Okay, Domaytoe. So obviously these are the two teams. I want you to tell me about like the matchup of this. Do you feel like we've picked correctly here? Does these seem like the similar power levels between these two teams?
I would, first of all, agree that, yeah, I mean, there is definitely some high-quality cerebral fitness at play here, so definitely people were turning on their brains and making the correct decisions. But what I can, first of all, add that I know a lot of the players on Smoke Break. I know that they've been prepping a lot. Since they are not that long, they don't have that much of a longevity as a team. While Sammakot, they've played more the seasons together and such. And also, I just want to quickly say Sammakot means frog in Finnish. I don't know if you...
Oh, wow, the more you know.
And I thought they wanted to tell me that they wanted to change the name to Szapka because this is what frog is in Polish. No, but I think it's a pretty decent matchup.
Okay, Ben. So obviously, Smoke Break versus Sammakot, obviously of a similar power level. Sammakot kind of teetering the bottom line of that Prem level, but it's all still Prem. But do you think like this old roster of Smoke Break, some old players returning, all this stuff? Do you think they've got what it takes to beat out Sammakot? Do you think that they're the stronger team in this matchup, or do you think like Sammakot have actually got this experience is backing them?
I'm probably slightly leaning on the experience from Sammakot, but like this is, made a mistake. This is Smoke Break were the best team in the qualifiers. They kind of just rolled everyone, and like we said, it's a lot of experienced players, plenty of Prem experience, all of them playing at least Div 1 level. Like this is a serious team, a serious contender. I just think Sammakot, they've been around for so long, and they've got some players that have big land buffs. We saw SNH last land pop off crazy good on Mandem. I think Sammakot probably just about have it, but it's a best of one. Anything can happen, right? Like crazier things have happened.
Is there such thing as a LAN buff here, not Steven? Do you think these old returning players that, just disgusted at online TF2, but like kind of activate more at LAN, is that a thing?
I think absolutely. I think it's all based on the good vibes at the end of the day, right? I think if, you're a team that's really getting hyped up and you're kind of rolling, I think you can, if you get like a round ahead, it's a lot easier to convert another round. There's not so much time to kind of take a breath, take a chill pill and reset. So I think if you've got a team that can play off that, it's really good. But we got some pick bands here.
Oh yes, we do, and we've got graphics picks in bands as well. So now keep in mind, gentlemen, this is the group stage, so we don't really have a traditional pick and ban because there's only best of one. So what we do is we just take turns banning the maps out of the map pool once at a time. All the map pools mirroring from the ETF2L season that has gone by, and as you can tell on the screen, banning one by one until they land on Gullywash. It seems Gullywash is the least hated map, Ben.
Yeah, honestly, it looks to me like Smoke Break have done their homework, because a fun little stat is that Sammakot only actually won on 2 different maps all season, and that was Sunshine and Process. They were the first 2 bans from Smoke Break. So they've clearly they've been through their history, they've looked on the logs, they've found everything out, and they've worked out they want to keep away from the 2 scout maps in the pool.
Domaytoe, when you're watching a nice round of Gullywash, what do you think? Do you think like there's certain players, classes, maybe even sort of teams activated in this matchup?
I was a bit caught out by the graphic that we just... Yeah, so they both picked Gullywash, but they also banned Gullywash before, so...
Graphical error. I'm sure it's just a graphical error.
Yeah.
Let's just. I'm going to take blindly in the fact that we are going to Gullywash.
Sodium said to me the only
we are definitely going to Gullywash.
Is Gullywash in the group stages.
Yeah, we're just making sure you're paying attention there in Twitch chat, and that's all.
No, I think Gullywash is a very interesting map in that sense that it sort of limits the off-class choices a lot. For example, I mean, Sniper does tend to have its place, but it's more used as a sort of shutting down angle class where, you don't have that many cheeky angles. You usually just shut down an entire flank, which then, in turn, does make available to you the fact that maybe you get outgunned on one flank, but you try to tranquilize that flank by just setting a sniper there. It's not that much of a surprise factor. It's more of a opportunity for a team that might be gunned out on deathmatch level to turn and tranquilize down the DA.
All right, Ben, I know this is called Team Fortress 2, but we're trying to find the best team here. But if this was Solo Fortress 2, who are you keeping your eye out this server?
I sort of alluded to it earlier, and I think based off the Prem season, I think SNH has potential to just be the best player on the server here. Like, I think every map that they won, it was predicated by SNH getting around 30 frags. Like, the guy just pops off crazy amounts. I mean, he said he has a great runner sniper as well, like Domaytoe just said, and you can snipe a little bit, and maybe not quite as much as you would see on a process or something like that. But I think SNH is almost a win condition for this sammakot team.
Now, obviously, we've got our Goliath nominated SNH, but who's the David out of Smokebreak? Who's going to come forward and, like, humbly sit him down here? Ben?
I actually think there's a few good choices here. I think if we're on a more scout-centric map, I might say Omga. I think he's a really good player and really underrated, and I say it every time. However, this is a soldier map. This is Gullywash. This is the soldier map. And Smokebreak, they have Phoenix. Phoenix on Pocket Soldier on 30% beam could absolutely decimate this team. And I think that's something you need to be really, really cautious about. Obviously, the Scout is the most powerful class in the game, but if you let Phoenix kind of get rolling, especially on land, that man's used to like 80 ping or something. So now he's on land, 5 ping rockets. I think he's going to go mega.
Now, sadly, you gentlemen, you've picked the wrong time to go on the couch because this is the first round. We're obviously going to be working out all the kinks with all the players and all this stuff. So until the production tells me to head it over to the casters, you're stuck here with me. So anyway, let's keep rolling on the questions. So obviously, this is the matchup expecting. This is the best of one. Let's talk about the implications of this as well. Is every single game here in the group stage important here, Ben? Is there even chance of elimination here in this group stage?
There's 7 teams in each group. The bottom 1 goes out, and the top.
Speak up for me, Ben. I can't hear you.
So the bottom 1 in each group is going to go out. So obviously they don't want to be that team, right? I think both of these teams probably clear that threshold. There's a couple of weaker teams in this group. I think they're not too worried about that. But the main thing for these 2 teams is the top 4 go into the upper bracket, whereas 5th and 6th go into the lower bracket. So I think both these teams are probably fighting for those like 4th, 5th, 6th kind of spots. So if they can sneak into 4th place and potentially skip having to go to that lower bracket, get themselves an extra life in the playoffs, that could be so valuable.
Domaytoe, have you ever been tilted in a game that has like ruined your entire day of activity? Like, is that even a thing in TF2? No.
I've never been tilted in my entire life. I want to up my boy, though, Jacob, who's definitely probably been performing on Smokebreak. But since not Steven was mentioning this soldier map, influence on that. But I don't know about tilt-worthy factors here. I do think some people are more liable to it. Let's put it bluntly and a little bit diplomatic. But evidently, I want to have another theory crafting here added. I even heard, do we want to get slammed in an A tournament, or do we want to take a chill pill in the group stages and then win the B tournament?
All right, well, thank you very much, gentlemen. I believe our casters are ready. They're excited, and they're ready to get started here at poLANd.tf. So we'll take it away to our boys. Boys, take it away with our first round, which is sammakot versus Smokebreak.
Thank you so very much, Turbo Tabs. The rest of the guys on the couch who are right over there next to me. My name is Wandem. Of course, you can see my full name and address on the screen. I'm joined by Sunny. Equally full name and address. How are we doing?
Just getting doxed like that. I can't believe it. That's what we signed up for, I suppose.
Yeah, that's the perk. If you have any complaints about either of our casting during the event, like this
camera
blurring, this is obviously us doing this as well. If you want to complain about this camera blurring, you just saw our address. You can message us there, put in a complaint, and we'll get back to you shortly.
Yeah, HR will answer within like 8 weeks.
Yeah,
8 business
3 to 20
like
working days.
Some range of that. Anyway, Wandem.
It's actually crazy that this has just been blurred, like now.
Maybe we have to
all times.
Is it because we have to like step closer? Like honestly, like don't worry about it. Who cares?
Look, it's my hand.
Oh, there you go.
Ah, wait!
We can see. Anyway,
I'm basically a director at this point.
That's how it works. Look, you're excited for this match, right?
Yeah, this is good. This is so they talked about this a little bit on the desk already. That this is very much the first game of LAN, which means that I would not be surprised if we encounter various issues throughout this game.
Like a 20-minute pause because somebody's monitor
But
explodes.
okay, here's the thing that also worries me a little bit about this. From what I have seen, Sammakot is a team that like to play very, very sort of old school standard TF2. And in European team terms, that means they're really, really slow and boring sometimes. And we're going on to Gullywash, which you can play exciting and cool. And we have seen a lot of cool and exciting Gullywash matches this season. But I just don't know if this is the first map of LAN. There are two possibilities. One, it's really cool and fun and interesting. We're all excited. Yeah, we're here with a live studio audience. Number two is we're holding last for 20 minutes.
I don't know. I feel like, if anything, we're going to run into issues because Luca Enderman literally entered the facilities in like the last 10 minutes.
There have been, I've had some beautiful chats. Another benefit of being on the broadcast is that people automatically assume that you know everything that's going on.
Yeah.
So I've personally been asked why people's computers don't work.
Yeah, like, Wandem, why is my monitor not turning
Yeah,
on?
I had Rons look at me. He's like, Wandem, why can't I log on to Steam? I don't know. And then multiple people have asked me this. I had one guy come up to me. He might be on the server right now. Phoenix came up to me. He's like, Wandem, my headset doesn't work. Can you help me fix it? Probably could. But I'm busy.
Not my job. It's not my job.
Sonny, who's going to win this map?
I mean, realistically, it should be sammakot. They should have this in the bag. It might be close at some points. It could be like depending on how teams are warmed up and how they're getting into this and like chaos, whatever. Maybe a couple of rounds taken for smoke break at the start, right? But I think this should be sammakot's map. I think they should take this pretty handily. They are, on paper, the better team.
I think as well. So they're 6th place in Prem at the moment. I think they sort of condawg graciously donated.
It's getting the pint for every point you donated.
Some points for them the final couple of weeks of the season. But I think overall, I think of the 7 teams like actually competing in Prem, if you ignore Garda, I think like they were definitely sort of the weakest team, right?
Yeah.
Like, but it's also like I feel like Prem is mostly built in a way where you have the top teams and you have a couple of mid-table teams and you have like you always have like the Div 1 team that was promoted up from Div 1, which is the in-Prem, and they usually get rolled. And that's kind of like what this roster looks like on paper a little bit, right? But I think it's important to stress that this is not your usual like punching bag.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, these guys were sort of not winning around until the second to last week of the season, but they were like, for a bottom place team, I think they're one of the better bottom place teams that we've ever had.
I think like in general, the level of competition in Prem, like the floor has gone up.
Yes.
Like the ceiling obviously as well, and like teams are getting closer and closer towards the top, but the bottom level of Prem is still really, really good. Yeah. And I think the difference between top Div 1 and bottom Prem is actually getting like bigger as time progresses as well, I think. Like, so even if we're looking at smoke break and like, oh yeah, this is like a mid to top Div 1 team, you know, I think that difference still exists. That difference still is going to matter. And as it turns out, teams are ready and rearing to go. Turns out even if your player just entered the venue about 5 minutes ago, you're good to go, you're good to game, and it's going to be the first rollout on Gullywash as smoke break and sammakot take it away with very little delay.
We are live. Map number 1 of poLANd 2025 in on Gullywash middle already, and that's a lot of decent damage there from Alv. Straight in is just Phoenix, though, just on that mid. Look at that rocket. It's ALX already down. No demo man for the side of sammakot. He's going to make them have to play this a bit slow, but look at Salty just moving across here as well. And I think this is just smoke flick. Maybe we swap the teams. That smoke flick taking the map for the mid victory. And sammakot are on the back foot. They're sitting on second. It's still even Ubers, right? No team has. Push back out. It's just Jacob going in.
Aggressive, okay. He wants to take the initiative very, very early. I mean, you got to respect it, trying to make a difference there somehow. But I think it is going to slow down ever so slightly. Both teams are trying to make some happen. Hitting again, just trying to take the initiative, really getting in deep and managing to maybe even escape. Nope, not quite. Gets cut off by Alex. It's going to be probably slowing down ever so slightly, but they do want to trade. Alov is keen to take it, just try to take the choke, and they do. That's going to be the exchange underway, and it's going to be on this post-war positioning to really decide how this shakes out afterwards, because it's anybody's game when nobody can be hurt. Okay, Alov gets caught.
Falling, though, initially in this, and I think just one scout falling means that, okay, they see a bit of an angle. I was a bit worried that they weren't going to commit, but instead now they're just going to send everyone through big door. So there's one soldier in here holding lobby, as unfortunately Rochester just not quite finding the rockets, and that's actually a kill already onto him. Salty traded as well, but this is a really scary position here for Luca. Needs to find a lot of pipes, as they are dealing with a bit of a low ground disadvantage. Jacob can bomb in, do a lot of damage here. Both teams going quite low here, but it is just smoke break finding the kills. sammakot now crumbling onto the second. They have not an Uber to work with, as both of them were up somehow, some way. And look at ALX, he's dead. There's one demo man down. Look at this. They could just send it into the last. They're going to push.
They can just walk right in there. I mean, Ubers is still going to be in play, but if Robert's never going to get anybody to heal, it won't matter at all. And if nobody can protect the point, a heavy is doing a lot. Alov, good switch, but it might not be enough. It's too little, too late, and the cap is finished off by Faust himself.
That was really close, Sonny.
Yeah.
That was really, really scary. The heavy doesn't really have any heals, so he kind of dies quite quickly. Got focused down quite nicely. But just, there were two players bombing the point right as it got capped. The health bar is super, super low on the side of Smokebreak as well. But that upsetting there, the first round. I think this is the thing, right? We said that sammakot's kind of towards the bottom end of Prem. Smokebreak, to be honest, you look at the names of this team, I think they're right there with them in terms of sort of overall level. And we're seeing that already in this first round.
We'll see if they can keep that momentum up or if it's just a little bit of a fluke. Still is nice early damage. Just take Phoenix out of there immediately. He's not going to be doing anything. Gets cleaned up himself, but you know, soldier for soldier, Alov nice little meat shot onto Gekip as well. No soldiers for the side of Smokebreak. Might slow things up, but SH is in behind.
Oh!
Beautifully
Hey,
done.
Alex!
What a pipe. Cleans up the whole team. Matter of fact, it's only Umger left, and there you go. Nice mid from Sammakot. They clap right back.
That's just the scout and the demo from Sammakot coming in clutch. Huge shot there from Alov in on the flank as well, two-shotting that scout, preventing any sort of aggression for Smokebreak. And then just the coordination with SNH and ALX combining for that pipe kill. Rochester already spamming down that gun. I'm surprised not going to see a bomb in because they do have a massive advantage. Normally, had this been Uber, I'm pretty sure Rochester would have been right on in there now. Pyro, Gunner up on last. We're just going to look to deal with these for now, but this is going to be a big Uber advantage push for Sammakot coming right in through shutters.
That's the way you want to do it, straight away. Nothing to worry about much in terms of defense, but they do got to still clear that distance. They got to get some grounds, and they got to worry about the demo below point as well. Lots of damage onto him already, but Luca will live. Crucially, SNH goes down, so does Alov as well. They haven't really found much else. No cap time either. For the side of Sammakot, they just have to leave, get out of there. Silva's going down as well. Rochester very low. ALX eating a lot of damage. Actually keeping up a lot of pressure here as well. Smokebreak, very good opportunity to push out with, and that's exactly what they're doing. Shutting down this big door, making sure nobody is left behind, and that second is going to be retaken immediately.
It's a really nice job from Smokebreak to take down that player rushing in onto the point. They don't really have any further resistance. SNH. The sniper finds a headshot onto a soldier, but that's not really what you want. You're looking for a bit of a bigger pick here coming in onto mid. You see people coming in through drop down. And that's an Uber pop straight away. So the sniper is going to be pointless, but they are just not really finding that many players with the Uber charges. One kill to Silva. I really don't think that's the end of the world. Smokebreak now. Big Uber disadvantage, but crucially for them, this is SNH now forced offensively sniping a lot of damage onto Phoenix, and he's just going to go down. I think this might open the door for them to come right back in.
This guy's got a big angle here. Just another shot onto a soldier could really, really throw Smokebreak for a loop here, but he's not getting the time that he needs to line that shot up, and can't quite hit the scout either. He's very low as well. Will eventually get cleaned up by Gekip, who's just going to keep rolling back here, be a bit of a distraction for a while the rest of Sammakot are pushing the point. That sniper worked very well. Phoenix in with a jump behind, but gets found out immediately. They saw that coming from a mile away, and that soldier is not going to do anything. It's going to be a very easy cap here for Sammakot. Crucially though, Smokebreak have delayed enough to get themselves an Uber as well. Even if they're going to be back to last now, it's going to be a lot easier to hold than last time. And they already did a good job last time, so we'll see. We'll see how that goes for them.
Sammakot hoping not to just sack it into 3 and get nothing for it instead, but look at this. Early aggression from Jacob. That's actually super nice. You know that the angle is there. When the sentry gun goes down, the soldiers want to commit and sack in. Sentry's going up into river. He doesn't die for it either, but I think even if you die there, just laying that initial bomb, which is the scariest, before there's a gun up, before there's a pyro up or anything else, to keep your medic alive, sending that soldier up onto river to make sure that nothing funny happens. Instead, now SMH in the water while ALX sits around the shutters. This isn't even Ubers, and SNH's job now is just to annoy and distract. Eventually pressure across, but look at that. Luca's just dead. There's a free demo kill.
Just dies like that. ALX finds a sentry as well. SNH is just being a nuisance below. Lots of damage actually onto the soldier as well. Phoenix tries to be a bit aggressive to maybe hold them off for a while, but this is looking like a push Sammakot wants to do as bad as they can. Rudishirt in behind, but the Uber comes out anyway because Faust gets forced in. This is looking beautiful for Sammakot. No danger for them at all. Get everybody out of there. Make sure nobody gets caught by anything. Re-aggressive that Uber as soon as you've got your soldier back in the game. And it's looking like a nice opportunity for a last push if Umger can have a word with it. That sniper could be interesting, but defensive sniper on goalie, not the easiest thing to pull off.
He has one single shot here, Sonny. Most of the time, you pop in through the shutters anyway. He needs to wait for a mistake out of sammakot to try and get something out of this sniper, and he's just going to go off onto the pyro instead. You're waiting for this uber charge push to come in. Just sort of runs in now. This pyro doing a decent job of denying for a while as you take down the gun, but there's still pyro up in time, reflecting on spawn. But it's just one demo here on the point. You need to shut this guy down, and he lives for a really long time, and that allows the rest of the team to come in and collapse. It's just Alov left alive on 30 HP, and he has to dance around the corners by himself, doing so much damage. But that is Roger coming in with the save at the very end, and that heavy does so much heavy lifting there.
Unbelievable. And crucially, with such a bad push for sammakot, they still get Faust. That keeps them in this. Otherwise, this would be an insane leapfrogging, probably 2-3 points coast to coasting almost for smoke break, but they completely stalled them on that one. There's not much more they can do than claim second here and get out again as the respawners come in as well. For sammakot, they're going to be healed up much sooner, much better positioning. I mean, they're on the high ground, but you can't do much when you have no heals. Smoke break will have to quit eventually. Silvus is also there to make sure nobody gets out for free. And there you go, they're just going to retake that second immediately. Ubers are equal, more or less, but defenders' advantage, disadvantage, whatever you want to call it, we're going to have to see how much that matters. They've been doing a good job holding so far from smoke break, and they are up around. At the end of the day, any time that sammakot wastes favors them if they want to go for the 1-0 finish. But sammakot have to find a way to actually bust these holes, because their last pushes have not been looking solid so far.
No, they've kind of struggled trying to get in here. I think they're just trying a good old-fashioned pressure cook. Instead, this time, we're just sending in an even Uber trade. But look at Force, he just barely manages to get it. 28 HP, and you send in one scout, that's an Uber traded. You can't go in anymore. You don't have no positioning. I think we're just kind of resetting here. They can go back onto second. They're one player down. Hope for some kind of smoke break overextension here onto second. You see Luca Enderman just stickies up lobby, just ends up walking back, choosing not to go anywhere. No, that is a second cap coming out quite late, so still 4 minutes left on this round. Plenty of time to work with, but I think it's SNH coming up on Sniper. We're slowing this down. It's only 9 minutes into the map, but now we're talking about this a bit earlier. I hate to toot my own horn a little bit, but I did say there's a big potential. This map is a bit slow. SNH has to deal with the stickies, walks in on the lobby. But now all of your eggs are in this SNH sniper basket.
If they can get him onto that, okay, they're working the main angle for now, but if they can get him that hero shot angle in River, that's the one you want as a sniper. Obviously, if a med is out of position or like just some kill you could get, doesn't work that time. Unfortunately, you miss Phoenix. Phoenix just kills you, but you know, keep trying, whatever. He's going to try to bomb in himself and just get some work done. That's a decent chunk of damage, actually. Robert eating a lot of damage. Matter of fact, Helix also comes down almost.
They found the demo kill.
Somehow. Luca just
This is really big, actually. Okay, it's big in the sense that they have
openings.
an opportunity to push in a bit more aggressive. You can see how aggressive Silvus is playing here. They spam down the gun, and now you can really initiate a sack. You have to make sure that the Pyro has to look more places at once, and they could just pressure out the Uber from a Force now, who does not have an Uber to work with. This Uber is finding nothing at all. They found no kills. Such good pressuring play from sammakot. SNH doesn't quite hit the shots onto Salty, though. And they can just come in. Uber now up, getting that kill onto the Pyro. Now Alef just kind of coming in and trying to clean house. Heavy is up, but no one is on the point. The Heavy does not drop down on time, and sammakot are equaling 1-1.
Took them a little bit, took them a few attempts, probably more than they're comfortable with, but at the end of the day, 19 minutes left on the clock, 1-1. Anybody's game still. Anybody can still make anything happen. And we'll have to see if sammakot can, maybe they found their stride a little bit now. Maybe they can keep up this momentum. Maybe smoke break, clap back straight away again. Yeah, I guess this mid will really spell it, because
I really liked that pressuring play that came in. They really sort of capitalized off of getting that demo pick in a really nice way, and they had an opportunity to just get in and get that force onto Forced. And then from there, they just played it out to perfection, right?
Yep. And we'll see if they can pull it off again. Rodisher already in behind the combo. Beautiful damage onto Faust. Gets away with it as well very easily. And off of that, you can probably win the mid if you can keep the rest of your team alive. You don't have the positions, but you can play with the heals. Play the war of attrition. Nobody is very healthy at all on smoke break. Even if they get the point, you just play that health advantage, and eventually you can bully your way through here. These players won't be able to commit too much. If you're safe about it, you don't walk into a sticky trap, and they're being very cautious. There you go, sammakot can retake. They've got the big Uber ad to work with. It's not a fast mid-win, but they will be able to.
One of the scary things here now for sammakot is they do have a decent bit of just pure ground to cover, right? Before they can realistically get in and use this Uber advantage, right? It's smoke break in on a lobby already. They're doing a good job of spamming, deterring back, because sammakot now have to be so careful, checking every single angle, making sure a Force does not come out until they want to pop that Uber onto last. It is now. You can just see through pure time spent. Forced 80%. The Uber's coming in.
It took a while, but it does come in eventually. But they're not finding anything. They're not getting anything done at all. Faust is going to be close to his own very soon. It is a absolutely shambolic Uber for the side of sammakot. At least they didn't lose anybody, and they actually managed to clean up Phoenix as they leave as well. So there's no counter push coming out from Smoke Break, as if you would want to when you kill nobody. But still, you know, it's just going to waste so much time. They're just going to have to wait so long enough for sammakot to get their own Uber up again. A favorable trade in lobby, which doesn't happen there as Salty dies, would have helped them even more. But still, at the end of the day, Smokebreak have bought themselves a ton of time to just set up their defenses here, wait out this Uber. It's going to be a little bit long before Robert has, before they're ready to push again. So, I mean, they just got to be ready for it at this point. They got the heavy setup on high ground. I mean, you probably could have built a Sentry this time as well, but I guess they're committed to it.
It's a bit hard, right? You're one player down already. I think Salty has been the engineer player for most of it, right? But it's just the lacking pressure and damage you have if you begin setting up that gun. Obviously, sammakot didn't actually push, but it's so scary, I think. It's putting Smokebreak on a back foot in the sense that the moment, like, there's kind of no winning play, you know what I mean? There's a not losing play, but that's very different from a winning play. So at the moment, they're kind of, yeah, they're not losing a round, but they are just at the mercy of whatever sammakot choose. It is sort of the tried and true classic of scout in through water, bully the soldier on the ring, as it is just two soldiers playing on top as well. No stickies on the point at the moment. They are sort of spread elsewhere, but this heavy does a decent job denying for now, but I think the moment that spam and pressure comes in onto the gun, you start massively preferring that pyro.
Yeah, it's gonna be tougher. Yeah, the gun's already down immediately as well, as you say. And there's not too much cap time. SNH just steps on the point, the soldiers look away for a second. Radisher is there as well to back him up. No stickies. Lucas just completely spread thin. Eventually, there's still players on the point. There's so much pressure still. How are they getting away with all these kills as well? Everybody's still alive. SNH is just pulling so much weight down here. Somehow living throughout all of this. Sylphs is in as well with high ground.
Oh my God.
It's looking so bad for Smokebreak. They're all bunched up on points. Only Faust and Salty. They have to use. No choice but to do so. And I think spending a couple of players for that at the end of sammakot with a fuckload of cap time as well is going to make this very nice for them going forward.
They are 3 down, right? You really, as Smokebreak right now, really need to find some kind of situation where you can pressure out this cap and reset that last cap, because it is so dangerous. The counter Uber can come out for now, and they are just going to stall back. It's another kill onto Luca Enderman, and that's super, super good for sammakot to start off this cleaning up house. And Alov straight onto the medic. He sees the point, but he wants Force instead. Needs to hit the shots, though, and he's kind of missing, but it doesn't matter. SNH is there, supporting his teammate, gets the round up, and we don't care you beat 4 shots onto the medic.
Yeah, we all saw it, but it doesn't matter.
We would have won anyway.
You won regardless. We even got the replays. Look at this beautiful opening to the mid fight. That's what you like to see as a roamer. You just get up that drop down immediately onto the medic. That's exactly the play you want to see. sammakot up around now. Half the map left though. It's still very, very feasible for Smokebreak to clap back if they find their footing again, but they've been stumbling for a bit now.
It feels like they haven't been in control of the game for a while, right? Like even when it was 1-0 them, they were still just on their own last for a long time. They have not been on the enemy side for super, super long. It's Alov in once again for Phoenix. Massive mid that comes in for 2. And this is so much damage. Delta cross, but Force is the medic that just ends up getting taken down.
Robert's
Robert played so scared.
Out good, I say. He's got Alov protecting him, but he will be able to get out. Nobody's chasing them. They're going to be able to get that Uber out alive once more. And even though it's a quote-unquote last bid again for sammakot, they're in a beautiful position to just bring it right back. They can leapfrog this very, very easily. The spawners are here, and even if Smokebreak are going to have heals themselves if they delay for long enough. Worst case, I guess you got to use the Uber through. Obviously, that's what Smokebreak are hoping for. Jakob's chilling above.
I think
he's looking
at the wrong goal, Sonny.
I think
he's not. He's not
it's the right one.
It
was the right one.
This is a really hard mid to push into as well. That choke point is not easy to bust without popping an Uber yourself, right? And so we are just kind of setting up and ready to go, but they're gonna be expecting to pop the super, super, super close, right? Look at just the projectile play sitting close. Alov so low, trying to walk through it, but the spam is so huge. There's a lot of damage onto Jacob. Ends up actually just going down. This is an opening kill. You can work with this.
Yeah, I mean, a soldier down. You didn't have to use either. You don't have to worry about any more aggression. We've bought a lot of time on the side of Smokebreak, which is nice. They bought themselves an opportunity to actually hold this second very, very easily now, and that worked out well for them. But it also worked out well for sammakot. They didn't have to use, and that's crucially probably what Smokebreak really wanted, was a bad Uber out of sammakot there, which isn't happening. So they now have to exchange on a second. Faust eats a lot of damage, has to pop already, and he's not getting the damage from Salty that he needs to.
Force is dead.
To force anything out of Robert whatsoever. Matter of fact, Faust dies as the Uber fades. and it's not looking great at all if you smoke break here.
This is really
This is
scary now.
bad.
No medic up. Lucas so low, but how do you hold this last? It is just an NG coming up. I think they believe they have time, which is a bit
Ambitious.
curious. This Uber can come out. I mean, they are one player down. They might just wait for SNH. But this is another big advantageous push here for sammakot. They have been slowly converting these rounds a little bit at least, but I wonder. They are giving them this sweet time. They do have time to set up this gun. 100% onto a Robert. It is Omga up on the sniper, at least for a little while. Gets the headshot onto SNH, opening it up. This is going to slow down the push a little
SNH
bit.
is the playmaker, so you get the playmaker out of there. He was putting a lot of pressure on that point last time around, so it's not a bad pick by any means, and it will probably slow down sammakot here ever so slightly more. Matter of fact, my words, they just Uber right it. They just send it right across and find absolutely nothing. Robert dies, matter of fact. They find Gekip as a response, but Rodisher dies as well. ALX is caught in no man's land. Sylvs probably also isn't getting out alive, and they got to bank on this SNH play, catching somebody who's not ready for the sniper and big door. But if it doesn't work either, well, you're probably giving up mid.
It doesn't really, I think you're giving up mid either way. You're just getting your players up now, right? You can kind of set up something, but he sees now the cap comes across. He's just going to sit in big door, wait. But that's a medic up on the high ground. He's not going to be able to shoot him unless he goes for this hero shot. He peeks in, but he just shoots his scout. That's a really nice headshot on his player that is standing still. It was the wrong player standing still. There's a medic standing still. He just kind of moved a little bit diagonal.
And he didn't even die. He was too healthy. That's the next problem. At least he could have gotten the kill there, but no. Hey, he gets out, though. He's alive. Now they know about the sniper, though, and they're just going to Uber in quite early to make sure that that sniper doesn't catch anybody. Unfortunately for smoke break here, I mean, they do find a couple of frags of it. One of them is the sniper, but it's not the best Uber they could have wanted, right? Robert is going to be close to his own now, and they're putting sammakot on the back foot ever so slightly. Slowly but surely getting them to back off more, but they have to get something done with this second push now as well. Like, they have to go up against this full Uber out of sammakot, which is almost certainly, well, they kind of want to use. Aleph is, they're very keen here to actually take this forward as best he can, but the rest of his team waiting for them as well. Robert will eventually use, eats a lot of damage, and it's a disastrous force potentially, unless they can chase this for choke, and they really want to, but no, Aleph's not going to get away with that one.
It's a really, really nice pressure play there from Smokebreak coming in, getting that force out, positioning for sammakot, just not there at all. You can see them now just on second, just kind of standing in no man's land, right? Eating the spam. And this is a massive Uber advantage here for Force as well. Smokebreak finally finding themselves a bit of a driver's seat once again. They are only one round down, still 10 minutes left. But this is an Uber push. They can just send this right into last, only level 1-er.
It's not much to write home about at all. They can just get onto that point pressure immediately. If they take care of ALX, they've got so much re-rain, and they will exactly do that. Now, if they can actually get the positioning of Hostess and get just a lot of cap time, apparently, before the Pyro finally drops down. It did kill almost the entire team, though. It's only Stills and Aleph left alive for the defenders here. And then only Faust for the attacking side, who tries to escape as best he can. He's got a lot of people after him. Not quite. Not
Unfortunate.
Quite. Valid attempt.
I saw it there. When he hit that first arrow, I was like, that Pyro was kind of low.
There's a chance. Oh well, Sylvs.
You think condawg lives that?
Capping this though. Okay. Yeah, they're gonna get the second back, I think. Unless there's a lot of pressure coming for Sylvs very, very quickly here, but that's not happening. Yeah, they're getting that, and then sammakot are back in the driver's seat.
It's Phoenix sitting up on a really interesting high spot. I feel like I've seen people stand on this high, like these little like megaphones or whatever they are, many, many times. I don't think I've ever seen them work. But you are just kind of waiting for that sort of sync. As this is Mikasa casting a drop coming in, and it is Sylvs going down already. So much damage into this choke, but does it work? They're all falling anyway, and this is now sammakot free entry in onto mid. They have a big advantage to work with, and I feel like Aleph with the heals, he can just keep this rolling. They are going to stack this to prevent some forward spawners. It's going to be 3 down, but you really, really want to try to catch out a medic here. Instead, they might just have to settle for a bit of a second capture. They are peeking lobby, and I don't think they'll be contested because we just want to build up on last. They have an Uber almost off their own.
They're comfortable on their own last. They've spent a lot of time there already, so I don't blame them for getting back cozy. They've been doing an okay job holding, but it looks like sammakot have figured out how to bust these holds better. They figured out where Smokebreak really like to do it, and unless they switch up their strategies, I don't see how this is going to go any different this time around. They do have equal Ubers on both sides. As long as they can pressure cook it out of Faust again, you might be looking at another nice opportunity for sammakot. SNH is back below the point again. Has to deal with a soldier looking him down. They've got stickies on the point as well. ALX trying to pressure this Shutter as well. He knows how close that combo.
That's the bow out.
That's damage. It's a lot of damage on the Faust, actually.
He's hit the bow out as well. Sylvs can just come in.
Beautiful.
For the drop. So nice.
I can
That's
see
really
that.
good coordination.
Yeah, that worked out beautifully. The damage was called, and you know he was right on top of that straight away. Beautifully done. That's going to give sammakot a prime opportunity to get another last push on the road. They're safe as well, making sure nobody slips through. So it's going to be on them to lose, basically. It's their last push to mess up once more. So I guess we'll see how they approach it this time around. Where the Uber comes in, looks like the River Uber might be the choice this time around, perhaps.
Yeah, it's a heavy up as well. Senchukon there. I mean, I don't know. I think the heavy is nice, but the Pyro just does so much better work in denying that Senchukon being shut down. Uber comes out onto SNH, who just takes it in through lower. But look at the amount of people waiting underneath to try and catch these guys coming in. They actually do manage to find 2 kills off of it. 3 make that 4, as everyone kind of falls down here on him last, as ALX hits some nice pipes, but the rest of the team falls alongside them. That was really nice judgment.
They had them read like a book, man. It's almost like they anticipate exactly what would come their way. They were going to try to bust through that water, and it just did not work. They shut them down completely. And that gets them back towards mid. SNH immediately up on the sniper as well. He loves that forward sniper play. Oh my gosh. They got his number, man. They know what to expect. They were ready for it. They shot him down immediately, and he's going to have to be back to the rest of his team. Nice little body shot there onto Luca, but it's not the kill. And now they know about the sniper, so they're going to be playing it very carefully out of that big door, while Phoenix tries to pressure for choke a little bit. The rest of his team soon to follow, probably, as they've just made so much ground, and SNH still rearing for that headshot onto something, but...
That's why it's so crucial for Phoenix getting to choke there. Yeah. Because it sort of pressures off that sniper so much more. He can't just sit with the open door and stare into big door, waiting for the enemy team to come into his crosshairs. Instead, he has to sit and peek back. He's going to end up paying for it with his life, I think, as Roger just wants a bit of a jump. Ooh. That's a really big shot onto Luca. It's followed up by a kill onto Phoenix, and this is a trade happening in on the enemy last, and there's no one really to follow up on Umga, who's one nice 2-shot, but that's so many enemy team members just straight onto his face. It's a 1v5 that he does not win. Salty, sneaking. He's into lower, but he has been discovered. Only 100 damage to the Demo Man, who lives for now. He wants to send it in onto Robert.
Ambitious, but it's not going to happen that time. Rodisher cleans up Yekip as well, as he's trying to be cheeky on that high ground, and sammakot are going to stay on top of this. They've been pressured a lot more this round, but they are still staying on it fairly easily. So I don't see them struggling too much to get back out onto this mid as well. Ubers are very much in favor of sammakot as well, which obviously helps him even more. Umger taking a page out of SNH's book here with the forward sniper, but he wants the priority target.
Sniping, that's right. Just kind of, it's so easy to play around once you spot it out. You just send in that soldier exactly
such a
what
bad
Silk
angle.
did. He dies, and then the angle, like, realistically, 95% of the time, you're maybe getting a soldier kill on a scout kill. Not that big for the enemy side. They are popping in this Uber here, straight in onto last, behind enemy lines. I don't know how they got here, Sunny, but also players are dying in front. They killed the Demo Man behind, and now we've kind of switched roles a little bit. This is a bit weird. There's a soldier on the low ground, though, and Alov actually does a lot of damage to him, followed up by SNH, means that Jacob will go down, as now we're taking just a pure God-fearing scout 1v1 up on top with the medics. The soldier comes in and ruins the party, but that's Force going down. I think this might be a smoke break collapse on second hit.
Unless Salty was trying to do a bit of damage here, doesn't quite get it done though, and the rest of the team will have to wait on last. We'll have to hold this off once more. Robert, getting pretty close to his own Uber, halfway there already, so it's looking like another opportunity for sammakot to lose another last push. They still have not been having good rates of conversion on these. They only managed it twice, and it took them a lot of attempts both times. They messed it up this time around again. Salty up on the sniper this time around. Not doing much with a body shot on a soldier, but, you know, denying some sight lines for the time being and giving the team a little bit of time to perhaps set up once more. I guess we'll see. They don't have the NG once more. They're opting for the heavy. See how it works. The Uber comes in through water again. Lots of pressure from lower ground here. They do find Phoenix and Luca immediately. The Demo taken care of me. There's free reigns on the point. So much cap time for Alof and the rest of the team to just clean up. And there you go. 3-1 up for sammakot. 4 minutes left on the map. It's starting to look a lot more dire for the side of Smoke Break.
Absolutely textbook from sammakot as well. Just getting in, getting that demo kill pretty much instantly. No stickies on the point. There's no one there to contest. Yes, there's a heavy up. The heavy's like around spawn. What does he do? That's a really nice shot though. Oh my god. Look at Enderman.
Beautiful. Beautiful. That's what we got the replays for. All right. One more mid-fight, perhaps the final one of the map, depending on how fast smokebreak want to move. They theoretically can bring it back to a tie at best, but they have to way out of their minds, and they're going out swinging straight away on this mid. Lots of damage to ALX, but no kills claimed just yet. They eventually tried out Artisher for Salty on the other side, but so much damage for both sides. Eventually, Faust goes down as well. Smokebreak are bleeding players ever so slightly faster. Phoenix can't cut off people in elbow either. It's only Luca and Umger trying their damnedest to get rid of this combo somehow. They are mirror matched, but one of their mirrors has a little bit more HP to work with, and that war of attrition will probably favor sammakot in the end, even if Elaf eats a lot of damage. Luca is in such a dire position to die in, and he somehow lives for now. Okay, eventually gets cleaned up as Salty comes in to maybe try and follow up a little bit, but they're just cleaning house.
Yeah, there's just not any blue players left on that middle anymore, right? They can't commit. They lose their Demoman so late, and that means that sammakot can afford to be really, really aggressive. Coming in onto second. No stickies to watch out for with Omga dead as well. This is a last setup that's taking its sweet time to set up. Salty is not immediately bailing in onto an engineer. Instead, he's going to be trying to build up this Uber. About 60%, still 40% advantage push for sammakot. Not quite sure if they've been counting it enough to realize how big this advantage is, but there's only a sniper up. They can just send this in for absolutely free. I think they're looking at it, but now, by now, I think 4 should have it. I think prices might be about it.
Yeah, they took long enough on the side of sammakot, slow enough. Phoenix, bit aggressive there in River as the Uber finally comes through as well. Elaf is just going to get on that point. Luca taken down again means so much point pressure will come out once these Ubers have faded. Now Faustus has the run of his over as well, and already in terms of numbers it favors sammakot so much better, right? They don't have the positions, and they will lose Sylves as well, actually. Both scouts are very low. Never mind, I'm going to eat my words because Umger and Yekib are Salty. All of them are just cleaning up, and even ALX can't quite get the kill he wants onto Faust. It feeds him a Saw, matter of fact, as Robert is caught in hell and just about kills Yekib to keep himself alive. Just about.
Roger up on mid, right? He's just kind of chilling. Taking the 1v1 does actually end up winning it. That's nice for him. Joined by Soldier Friend. Doesn't really do anything, but at this point, right, like 1 minute 30, 2 rounds up. Very, very hard for sammakot to lose anymore. They need to lose the round basically right now. This is SNH with a beautiful little sightline there. He wants to find the scout initially, but he sees that beam, does take the shot, but just misses. Now he's in on the enemy's choke instead. Force is shut down by Sylves, and that's pretty much the end of that fight. About a minute to go, and I think this time we are now playing exclusively to get Vita as many viewers as possible.
You want to have as many banger clips for the folder as you can possibly get. Pad your numbers for the logs, because nothing that matters in the rest of this match, or no matter nothing that happens, will matter anymore. The scoreline is set. At best, sammakot can pick up another round if they move extraordinarily quickly, but it's not going to make a difference for them in the tables. They're going to be on top, and I mean, this is what we predicted would happen, right? Sammakot are the better team in the end. They took a little bit to get warmed up. They drop a round at the start, and I'll find a nice kill to Luca, who's clearly still a bit fatigued from traveling. And, well, yeah, sammakot take it pretty decisively, I think. I don't think there's much to argue about there.
Bit of a crumble on Marsh. You see the attention span has kind of gone for map number 1 there. So sammakot end up taking the retreat. That's going to be the 1-0 score of that group so far. Smokebreak, they put up a decent fight for a really long time. But I think, they put up a fight, but it still kind of feels like a little bit of... Yeah, it took a while, but most of the map, sammakot were in control, right? Yeah, Smokebreak got that early initial round within the first couple 2 minutes, but after that, it really just was sammakot in the driver's seat the whole way, even though they weren't winning rounds all the time. They rarely strayed back onto their own half the map.
Yeah, like they were sitting on Smokebreak's last for like half of that map at the very least. Even if they couldn't convert the pushes and had struggled with it quite a bit, they got there in the end. That's what matters. 4-1 is still a pretty good scoreline, and they're taking the first round for themselves, putting themselves in a nice little position. I mean, you want to fight for that fourth, right? Desk, we're talking about it. I'm sure they'll talk about it plenty more throughout the day, as the rankings don't matter too much. Only the bottom teams get eliminated, right? But you still want to make sure you're not there.
I feel like, I mean, obviously you want to win as many maps as possible.
Yeah.
We are setting a desk. I think you can even see them behind me. We're kind of... This is the thing, right? They're right over there. They're literally right next to me. As they're very desperately trying to put on their stuff. I think... Here's the thing, Sonny. I don't know if Smokebreak should be that worried necessarily. I think it comes to this game and you feel like, okay, like we could probably win this, but they have so many more games to play.
Yeah.
In a group where I would argue that there are definitely more games to win, right? Like,
yeah, no, they got plenty of chances still to give themselves some points. So, well, throw it to the desk. We'll let them talk about it. They know more than we do because they are smarter than us.
That's not true. Only some of them.
You heard it here first. We are the smarter ones. Welcome, welcome all. Obviously, we're going to welcome a new friendly face. It's Haunts from Team Mandem. Haunts, thank you very much for obliging me in this little analytical thing. Now, you've been paying attention to the Sammakot game, right?
Yeah, I did. It was a close result, but Sammakot was over them. It was they could have won 5-0 for sure.
All right. And I'm just going to make sure you pass the mic down. We've only got the one mic, I'm afraid, for all my analytical guests. But, Stephen, is there anything that jumped out at you from that game when you were watching it all?
These teams are awful at pushing last and killing a demo man in water, honestly. Yeah, it was a bit tragic, a lot of those pushes. I don't know if it's just, these early game nerves and jitters and you haven't played enough, but I don't think either team really played their best that game. It was a little bit of a rough run. I think the one round that Smoke Break got early on was a bit lucky, but yeah, I think, as you said, Horns, I think they kind of looked on top of them on the Sammakot team a little bit disappointingly, maybe. But still plenty to play for, plenty of day. It's early days. It's good for some people, bad for others. We'll see how they play when the fatigue sets in at 9 p.m.
Domaytoe, is there such thing as LAN jitters?
I was a little bit off taken. First of all, did we watch the same game, Hans? That was not a close game at all. I mean, I want to add to what not Steven just said. It's nice pushing a demo in under. It's even nicer if you don't get obliterated by heavy hiding in secret. That's for starters. It also helps if you don't push into river completely without even looking what is close. And I'm not saying those are hot takes. That's just what I realized.
Is any of it LAN jitters? Maybe do you think they're a bit like, oh, it's the first game?
I mean, I was in the cubby of Sammakot, and I was sort of monitoring their game, and it seemed a little bit ponderous at times. But apparently, the main issue probably lie within how a Smoke Break really tackled those certain points. But I was not really in their cubby. I'm not sure what maybe the problem there is, if it's sort of within the comms or if it's LAN jittery. Could be, but I don't think they are that nervous. They just don't really have figured out their success formula, which is a problem because we don't have that many games.
Not Stephen, I can ask you this question. I can't ask Haunts this question because he has to keep diplomatic and all that. But is there anybody dropping the ball here over on any of these two teams in that match?
It might have been my man to watch didn't play particularly well. We don't have the logs out right now, but I feel like every time the camera was on Phoenix, he was losing. So it's always hard to say because it's a team game, right? And sometimes you just get baited, and there's nothing you can do. But I don't think my man to watch was really the best in that game, unfortunately. I'm sure. Did you watch much of it? Do you have much to say about it, Haunts?
Haunts, I think you have a favourite player. I definitely have a favourite player after watching that.
My favourite player is Olive, for sure. Olive.
Yeah, he's so funny,
he's so funny to watch. He's crazy.
Yeah, he's the man of the people. You and I were behind him and then watching. He's like, the objective's right there. The medic's here, though. He's like, oh, medic! And he puts his fist up and he starts running at him.
It's so funny to watch. They need to get more hype. This is LAN. They're quiet. They need to get a bit more hype to get the runs in. I think that's what they need. I think.
Yeah, that's a good point. Obviously, you guys play against each other a lot in these Prem teams and ETF2 world tables and all this. But is there anything that was kind of surprising about the Sammakot team? I think you were telling me earlier, they're not really hyped at all.
Yeah, I thought Rotisher was more involved in the comms and stuff, but it was a bit quiet. Maybe it's LAN nerves, but I think he needs to speak up more, and Alov needs to get way more hyped. Alov needs to hype up his team, I think, in my opinion.
If you had any soft words for Smokebreak, or if you had to offer any insights, anything you could spot, or is it just too much to really diagnose?
I mean, they're good at defending last, but apart from that, I don't know, just work on their mids, maybe. That's what I have to say, maybe.
Not Stephen. Is this a good road for Smokebreak? Can they shake this off, or is this as good as it gets for them?
I mean, I think there's one or two weaker teams in the bracket, but I don't think it's much more than that. And I think, obviously, they're a bit more of a mixed team than a couple of these other established teams. And I think that kind of showed in the gameplay. They definitely looked like they didn't know what everyone wanted to do at all times. So I think their game's going to be hard. I don't think the road gets any easier for them, but I think it's just got to be positive vibes,
And finally, Domaytoe, obviously we've got a unique banning situation in the group stage where you just ban as many maps out until you're left with one map. this does mean that we could potentially see a lot of Gullywash because it's not like the most hated map ever. Or do you think we're going to see a lot of variety coming up in our group stage games?
It's just survivorship bias that you're throwing to me. I have no idea what those teams want to ban on them. Do you think they want to play Gullywash only?
You've got your ear to the ground. You know what the
Yeah.
populace like. Do you think that Gullywash is just going to be that usual map we'll be keep seeing, or do you think like no, that?
I mean, it is a staple map after all, but you can see how maybe if you play the long game, you think ahead, which sometimes helps, then you can see maybe they want to practice also other maps against those very concrete opponents.
Strong point.
Because
Strong
that
point.
is a problem. Also a problem with you can't practice COF maps at all until you reach the playoff stage. Which
100%, very strong point. I think some of the players were bringing it up in the meeting. They were saying like everyone's going to be scared to pick King. Actually, I'm going to throw the mic straight to Haunts. I want to actually get his opinion on this. Haunts, is that true? I heard people talking about in the player meeting where like nobody wants to play COF if they haven't had a chance to practice it during the group stages. Is that right?
I mean, I don't know. I think you should play COD in the first day because you're playing COD after the group stages, right? So
yeah,
I think you should just add every map in the group stage. I think it would be better in my opinion.
All right, okay. Well, I think that's a good note to end things on. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Obviously, with me has been Haunts from Mandem. We've got Not Steven and Domaytoe, our casters as well. I've been Turbo Tabs. We're going to throw it to a little break, and then we'll be over into our round 2 of our tournament in our long 7-round stretch. We'll see you then.